Hey guys, this is Dr. Locke. I wanted to give you some help on the MathStat function practice through ExPrep. So go ahead and follow the link that you have in your Canvas course to that assignment and download your empty file from ExPrep. Pause the video if you need to get that. And then once you have it, we'll work through the activities together. So in the Overview tab, you'll see that this assignment is about using math and statistical functions in your Excel formulas. So remember, an Excel formula is started in any cell by an equal sign, and after that you can type the name of an Excel function. So this time we're going to focus on math and statistical functions. So here are a few that are defined for you, and you see the example of how you can use those functions. And there, in this overview page, there are links to more explanation of those functions at the Microsoft site if you would like more information about them. Let's get started with activity 1. So the first instruction here, it says each row in this sheet, so each row represents a single social media post. So for this post, we see the page total. This is for the page, total likes. But for a post on that page, we see a lot of different data values collected for that post. So here, the number 1 says complete the total interactions column, column L, by adding the comment, like, and share cells together using the sum function. So that means in this first column here, L2, I'm going to type sum. And I want to add together the values in I2, J2, and K2. So to populate that formula, I can just click on I2 and drag over to J2. And remember that colon means through, so that's I2 through K2 that are being added together. And then I can fill my formula down the page using the fill handle in the bottom right corner. Just double click that. And you want to scroll down and make sure that it filled all the way down to the bottom row of data, which is row 350. All right. And now we can go on to number 2. Number 2, use the average function. So right here in P21, use the average function to find the average number of shares in column K. So shares are right here in column K. So I want to find the average number of shares. So right here, I'm going to use the average function to do that. All right, and I start typing the function, and then as I start typing it, Excel gives me a list of choices. So I can choose, I double click on one in that list, and then Excel gives me a reminder right here of what kind of arguments need to go in that function. But remember that you can also use this function builder button right here to the left of the formula window. If I use that, then it brings up the function that I've got in there and gives me places to enter my arguments, but it also gives me some help, reminder of what each argument means, and then I can click this link for more help if I need it on that function. So that is always an option. Remember, if you start to use a function and then you get this far and you're not sure what to do next, use that function builder button because it will give you some more prompting and help with filling in the arguments. So for this, we want to take the average of all the values in column K. So that's all that's in this spreadsheet. So I could select the values. I can click in K2. And then a little shortcut is to use Control, Shift, and the down arrow, and that will select all the values. So the combination was hold down Control, then Shift, and the down arrow to fill in the rest of those cells. Another thing that would work here is just to write K:K, and that's another way of selecting all the values in column K. And the average function will only It will not include any text in the calculation, and it will also skip any empty cells. So if in doing that, we have selected, this selection goes below where we actually have data, the average function will ignore these empty cells. It will only calculate the average of cells that have numbers in them. All right, so that's another possibility in this case. But I prefer to be specific and select the first one and then select the data that I want to actually include in that function. So there's a more specific range of cells in that function. Okay, total number of posts. Number 3 says in cell P22, right here, use the count function and column A to find the total number of posts. So column A over here is just a column that contains numbers, and it's a page total, so this has the same value in every row. The count function in Excel is going to count every cell that has a number in it. So it doesn't matter that the numbers are all the same. The count function is just going to count all the cells where there is actually a number. So I can use the count function, and I'm going to select column A. So I'll start in A2, and then use Control Shift and down to select the rest of that column. And notice this time I clicked up in the formula bar to finish my formula, because right now I can't see the cell where I'm typing the formula, but I can get to it still from the formula bar window up here, and hit enter, and then I'm done with that formula. The next one, number 4, is total number of posts. So in P23, use column B and an appropriate function to find the total number of posts. So let's do that. Column B. All right, column B has text in it. So if we're going to count the total number of posts, we've already found that that is 349. So we should get the same value again. But if we're going to be counting cells that have text in them, the count function won't do that. There's another function named count A, and count A will count cells that are just not empty. So if I use count A, all right, as soon as I highlight it, notice this message from Excel. It counts the number of cells in a range that are not empty. So any cell that has anything in it, number, text, anything, it will count. This time I'm going to select column B. So I'll go up to B2 and select that column, and then I can finish my formula with closing the parentheses. All right, and I got the same value both times. The difference is in this first one, I used the count function because I was counting numbers. In the second one, I used count A because I was counting cells that had something other than numbers in it. All right, the next one, use the max function to find the highest lifetime total, post total reach. That's in column F. So here's column F. I want to find the max in that column. So I will use the max function in column F. And there I've selected all the values there, and I see there is my maximum. All right, and then the last one is find the minimum of the lifetime post total impressions. That's in column G. So from this column, I want to find the minimum. Select the cells that I want, and then close the parentheses to finish that formula. All right, so that's activity 1. Let's move on to activity 2. Okay, in this case, we have some data from vendors, and each row describes a unique purchase order. So we have the vendor name, item number that was purchased, description, and then how many of that item were purchased. So in cell J20, use the sum function to find the total quantity purchased. So we want to add up all of these values. So we'll just use the sum function there. Select those. All right, and then I will use parentheses to finish my function. All right, so the rest of these are things you have done already. The only new one is the round function. In this last one, use the round function. And so I'm going to let you do that one on your own. You can use the formula builder to help give you help on how the round function works. But there's been a lot of demo here of how to enter functions and formulas in Excel. So I hope that that is helpful. If you need any further help, remember to just touch base with your instructor.